Some of the most active learning can be done when a student is simply curious about a topic and eager to experiment with it. So in this week's Science Sunday segment, we're exploring how submarines can sink and resurface by making a Cartesian diver using just a condiment packet and a soda bottle. Check it out.
All right, so I've got my clear bottle, and when you look at the condiment packets that you have, you might have to test them out a little bit until you find the one that's actually going to float when you pop it in. So I was experimenting with mine, and I had some honey packets or some fake honey packets, and that one sank straight to the bottom. So that one was out. But I found that my little ketchup packet was perfect. So I'm going to pop this guy in here. You just kind of squeeze them in, and then you have to make sure you've got a cap to put it on. Okay, so I've got my guy in there, and he's floating at the surface. When I squeeze the side of my bottle, my little diver goes to the bottom, and then if I let go, he pops back up to the top. So that's pretty cool. So you can kind of, if there's multiple people in your house, maybe see who can make him dive down the fastest. You can test out, different bottles and things, but this 2-liter works really good. It's very easy. My 7-year-old was even able to kind of squeeze it and get his diver to go back down. So that's all fun and great, but what did we just do, right? So what's going on is there's actually a little air bubble in our condiment packet. So they're full of, ketchup or hot sauce, but there's also some air in there. And air, when there's a little air pocket, it can help make things float. So this is kind of like when you get like an air bubble, and if you're in a swimming pool and you have like one of those swim shirts on and you have you trap some air, and it kind of helps you float back up. So the little air pocket in our ketchup packet is actually helping it float. Normally ketchup is heavier, it's more dense than the water it's in. So if it was only ketchup in there, my packet would sink all the way down to the bottom right away. But because there's a little bit of air trapped in this, it actually floats, it's buoyant. Well, as soon as I apply pressure, which is what I'm doing when I'm squeezing the bottle, it's also putting pressure on that little air pocket, and it's making that air pocket smaller, and it's smaller to the point where it can't help the ketchup packet float. And so the weight of that ketchup actually makes the whole packet sink down. So that's our little diver there. Well, submarines also have little air pockets built into them. They're called ballast tanks, and they're full of air, and the submarine has the ability to actually fill it up with water. So they're able to control it. And so when they want to sink, they actually fill up their ballast tanks partially with water. And that's going to make the weight of the whole submarine heavier than their normal stable weight, which helps them float at the surface. So if I become heavier, like when I press that air bubble smaller and smaller, my ketchup packet sunk. So basically when they're adding water, it's making that ballast tank, the air pressure inside, smaller and smaller to the point where the submarine can't float anymore. And it's going to make that submarine sink down.
You can learn much more about submarines and Cartesian divers on our website, turnet23.com/Science Sundays. There, this full episode is available for free for teachers and homeschooling parents this week as well. Now join us next Sunday on Pi Day to talk about daylight saving time and the vernal equinox. I'll see you then.